What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Always Race Day podcast. I'm Connor Ferguson here with Caleb and Josh. Surprise guest for you guys that I conned into coming on here. Real quickly, though, big shout out to the Karl Auto Group. If you listen to the Asphalt podcast that we just recorded, they'll be posted kind of at the same time. But big shout out to them for what they do. And I don't want to bore you guys with a long ad, but if you need a car, you're in the central Iowa area and the surrounding states, look no further than the Karl Auto Group. They'll get you taken care of. I got Ayrton Gennetten on here. I tricked him into coming onto the show to co-host with me so we could do a dirt show. Damon and Josh not available tonight, but Ayrton had a strong take on our Always Race Day Top 25. He wanted to bitch about my poll specifically and the entire poll at length. So open floor for you, Ayrton. Go for it.
Oh well, I feel like I should have got a vote, at least one.
Probably
Maybe
for
not.
me.
Maybe
I didn't.
maybe yeah. You should have given me one just because we're friends.
I'm
Maybe
already
not
on
for the
enough.
top 20.
Like it's like every time we post into Facebook, like there's like 6 comments like, "How the hell did you decide these rankings? And why the fuck is this guy there?" And it's
Yeah.
I don't want to have to like respond to people and then have someone go like, "Oh, he's best friends with Ayrton Gennetten. He's obviously gonna put that fucker there."
Well, I feel like Brown should be
You're
not in there.
you're probably held to a higher standard because of that. Honestly, like bias in
Well,
my mind
we
because I'm
sucked.
thinking that. So
I
I'll,
personally think like this year off overall, like if you look at track to track, like Chase Randall should be above Brown for sure.
I
Um,
like it, and I have invited Ayrton to vote in the poll every week if he wants to.
I will, but I don't know. I may put myself number one every week, so
That
it don't
might
even matter.
that might
I can
even be funnier
literally
for it.
I can literally be dead last every single night of my
If
racing career, but I'll still put myself number one.
if one of your sponsors gets on board with us to present it next year, I think we could possibly make that happen. Put a note at the bottom of it, like Ayrton votes in this poll and votes himself number one.
He's number one. Um, I mean, like Brown had a good year in Knoxville, but like if we're going off recent results, like he had that win at Selins Grove, but I would say that's about all he's done recently. Like he really hasn't had a lot of great runs for Brown, I guess you could say. I feel like Borden should be up there, maybe.
I'm with you on him. I kind of put it down
Borden's
to
pretty good,
I
but
put it
like
down
that's
to I have a
also
group of like 40 that it kind of hovers around, and I put people in and out of that, and then I cut it from there to 25. And the amount of people that I'm friends with that I cut off, it's honestly, it's like I hold probably accidentally hold you guys to a higher standard because I don't want to do the like your buddies with him. Why the hell are you putting him there? You know?
yeah. I feel like I don't even see as Macri's not even on there.
Yeah,
I mean,
Matt.
I know Macri hasn't been racing, but Macri should still be up there.
Yeah, and that's part of with that stuff. We took Tyler out, I know, on one when he was injured. We want to get to where we're consistent on why we take guys in and out. And I'd rather just rank them to ability and put everyone in it every week. But that was also part of that thing. So,
Yeah, if you did it week by week, you could do something like taking them in and out because they didn't race or whatever.
yeah,
Um,
and I don't want to have to go and number crunch and look at 17 results instead of 15 or something, you know.
yeah,
It's all
it's
fluid. I didn't even want to care too much about it because it was Damon's idea, but the engagement, like people love lists. And
oh
so
yeah, no, I looked at it and I was like, why? I was like, why? How's how they doing this? I haven't even read the article yet, but I'm about to. So,
it's not very
I
long.
mean,
I wrote it this week. When Damon writes it, it's very long. And when I write it, it's 3 sentences. And here's the poll.
yeah, I mean, I can
Also,
agree with
What'd you say,
Larson
Caleb?
one though.
might I add too, when Damon does it, I get a notice on Tuesday night and not Wednesday morning with, "Hey, how soon can you do this?"
Well, okay. Well, Damon didn't text me back last night. I didn't know if he was even alive. I thought for a brief period of time he was dead. But
It's a it's an interesting take. I feel like it's fairly accurate. Like there's a website called Sprint Car Ratings,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
they do a lot of their ratings, but a lot of their ratings is also a
They're very much stat based,
weighted.
and I don't think the
Yeah,
I
and
don't know
it's
how much
not.
the weight. Like I like to think of like, hey, I know what I would weight this race over this race because of who is involved in it. And then I want, and we're going to get more people to vote to where we have more opinions and more kind of central opinions with it. I want to get a representative from the West Coast. I want to get someone that goes to all these races in Pennsylvania, and we'll make it a big thing next year. This is all kind of a trial run to set up what we want to do in 2024. I'm really excited for it.
No, it's really cool. Like I like seeing it. I don't know. It's tough. Like I think it's pretty close. Like I feel like there's a few guys that are like right on that bubble. Like the Justin Sanders, like he was really good. Like I thought he was pretty impressive in the Midwest, and then he went back to Skagit and was kind of unimpressive at Skagit Elma this weekend. So
yeah, can I ask you? Can I ask you something? Because how the hell did Trey Starks have such bad luck at the Skagit Nationals specifically?
I don't. He didn't do good at Elma either. He got bad luck there too. He broke a left front or something. Like I think he only. I mean, I didn't really get to watch Skagit much. Like I fell asleep most of the time, and then I was obviously racing Saturday, but like I didn't really get to see much. But like Trey's been like lights out there, and he just kind of like I don't know if he just had bad luck or whatever. Like sometimes when those guys roll in and you're hot, and then when they roll in, the track's different than what you're used to racing. So it could have been something like that too.
What do you think of Sheldon and the line he ran in that race he went out there? Because that was one of the probably top 5 coolest things I've seen in my life racing wise.
Like that, I felt like I was watching that race, and like there's a lot of times like when tracks get really curbed up like that, and you gotta either like really slow down and run the bottom, or you gotta kind of pound the curb. If you got your car to where you can go above it, like there's a lot of times, like even Lake Ozark's notorious for that. You're entering above it and running above it for the first half the corner, then you diamond off. So it's like I feel like it's kind of ironic, but like last year we had that 2-day show that we had this weekend at Lake Ozark, and both nights we were above it, entering and diamonding off, kind of like how he was. But I don't know, like I feel like Skagit, like it's a really cool racetrack, but I feel like the racing doesn't produce as well as it should. Like that first night was probably the best racing they had all.
You're talking about the night that Sheldon won?
But I didn't really get to see it. Yeah, the night Sheldon won, I thought was the best track they had all week.
Oh, that was the worst track they had all week. No one could figure out that cushion in. But
well, that's what I'm saying. That's why it was good, because it was so technical and difficult to run, and it actually made the race exciting. Like you watched that final night, the final night or maybe the second night, like there was like no passing or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah. Do you think your grandma's going to listen to this podcast?
Probably not. She's out. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows?
Does she like the word pussy or no?
No, probably. I don't know. It depends. If it comes out of my mouth, probably not.
But that's okay. Well, pretend that Ayrton wasn't the one who told me this, but there's an unnamed driver that I'll text. Like, do you think this track at Eldora was as dangerous as that one? And he'll send me back. Quit being a pussy, Connor.
Yeah, it's funny. That guy's hilarious. Sounds like.
So real quick, we got 4 races to talk about. I want you to tell everyone about, you're going to this, it's like the Cyclone Showdown, the Cyclone Classic.
Cyclone Classic. I have no idea what to expect. The only thing I know is there's a track. It's in Iowa. They're putting up good money for a 410 show with little to no exposure. I feel like there's no series coming in for it. It's an open 410 show, and you don't get a lot of people that will put up that kind of money for an open 410 show and kind of stick their neck out. They did the right thing by waiting till Huset's is over and Knoxville's over, and then the Power Eye stuff's off this weekend. So I feel like if they took a whole like realm of looking at schedules, like they picked a good weekend to have a good amount of cars. We got I know they got the Jerry Reichert Memorial at Cedar Lake with IRA, so that'll probably take a few guys. That's a big paying race as well. But I think we should have close to 30 cars. And I feel like there's gonna be a pretty good amount of decent racers going.
Yeah, it'll be a fun one. We'll see if it stacks up to putting you in the top 25. I will secure you my 25th vote as long as Tanner Holmes doesn't win a World of Outlaws race this weekend.
All right. I'll if I can win 10K this weekend, that'll be a good deal.
Absolutely. Real quick, this might be better for Caleb and Josh to answer, but are you guys paying attention to this Supermoto Cross playoff race that they built a track in the middle of the drag strip in Charlotte? and it zigzags through the drag strip and like where the stands are seated. I'm so excited to see what this event looks like. This is their first like go at like a playoff race, and they're doing it at Charlotte, at Chicagoland Speedway, and then in the LA Coliseum. And I'm really excited to see kind of just the product and the unique space of the event. That's what's getting me excited for it. I didn't know if you guys had seen anything on that.
I did, and I saw multiple pictures of the track, and I think it's a great event. It's a great idea. The track looks like it's gonna be pretty challenging. But from a fan standpoint, like it's phenomenal. Like the way the stands are set up with the way the track design is, I think you're not gonna miss any of the action. It's all gonna be right there, and just having it on both sides, like there's not really a bad seat in the house.
Caleb doesn't feel too strongly about it, otherwise he'd talk then.
I haven't seen anything about it. I've been pretty.
Caleb, we tweeted it. Always Raced. I posted something about it.
Yeah,
That's
that doesn't
crazy.
mean I know too much about it. Listen, I have not in the past like probably week have not really even paid much attention to racing. So
No, and this will be a good measurement for it. Ayrton, have you even heard about this? I haven't said anything to Ayrton about it or anything.
I think I saw something on Twitter about it. And then I saw you retweeted it. I just saw like the track layout. It looks really cool. I obviously don't get much time to focus on anything other than myself and my own racing, but I do.
That sounded about as arrogant as you could have made it sound.
Well, I just don't worry about anything else, though. I just kind of I just try and worry about myself, But I feel like from what I've seen of the track layout and like how the atmosphere is going to be, it's going to kind of be, I don't know. I think it was a few years ago they did that. I don't even know if they do the Las Vegas $1 million race or whatever it was they had a few years ago. I can't remember, but I feel like it's gonna have an atmosphere
they do that. They did like a fall, like it was like the Monster Energy Cup or something.
Yeah,
like that. And they do like 3 races in a day, and then your average finish what got you the win.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be like I feel like it's gonna bring an atmosphere like that where it's gonna be like electrifying.
I'm way more excited.
Races, so
yeah, I'm way more excited for it than I was for that, because that always came off like this is just a Bud shootout they hold at the end of the season rather than the beginning.
Yeah, see, and I still don't know much about it. Like I don't really follow motocross. Like I'll follow supercross in the winter, and that's about it.
Yeah,
I don't even know if this is classified as which. It's so late in the year. I don't know how they classify it.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think the reason I got into Supercross at all was because they'd be the only thing on a Saturday in January, and I'd have it there for 5 weeks, and then after that it kind of tapers off, and your attention span goes elsewhere because there's other stuff going on. But I think this is a valiant effort they're making to make a splash and put that money they used to put into that exhibition race into something that feels like matters more. And they came together with Lucas and motocross and worked together, and I think sprint car racing would benefit for something like that, but I also know there's too many egos involved to ever make something like that happen, at least in the recent future.
There's egos. I had no idea there was an ego in sprint car racing. You could have fooled me there.
Yeah, well, you only worry about yourself. I think we gotta factor that in.
Yeah. No one's got egos in sprint car racing.
Kayla, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I just said race car drivers in general. That tends to be a problem.
Yeah. I'm on the side of the drivers. We'll just say that. No, but
yeah, I've been around plenty of them. They 2 things: they got egos, and they're never on time for anything when you need them to be.
Whoa! I was not late.
I'm more like a driver than I thought.
I had to download Zoom. Okay, I didn't even have it. That's why
that
I was
wasn't
late.
just a shot on this, but
no.
Caleb.
Hey, we got to keep ourselves confident if we're going to strap into one of these race cars.
Hey, I texted Bobby Pierce and Ricky Weiss both at 4:00. Neither of them even responded to me. That's on them for missing this. We could have had a World 100 preview. We'll do it through you. Now, I know you don't follow late models that closely. I know one of your crew guys does. Who are you cheering for, I should say, to win the World 100 this weekend out of the door?
There's one right answer.
Yeah, there's two. There is two.
Well, I don't know if mine's gonna be the right answer or not, but um, someone I like watching race is Ricky Thornton Jr. Like he runs midgets, micros, sprint car or not sprint cars. He has won a sprint car race though. Fun fact if someone didn't know that. And then he's been killing it this year. And then he's also a high performance lubricants driver. Shout out to David Ward at High Performance Lubricants. He's one of the drivers on the high performance lubricants deal. So technically in a way we got the same sponsor, so it's kind of teammates. So I'm gonna take RTJ.
All right, I might put you in the sprint car pool and put an asterisk of affiliation to potential sprint car racer in the future in Ricky Thornton Jr. I know he has been.
He's had a killer year, man. Like I feel like he's always been good. Like I've always, seen his like modified results and stuff like that. And then I think it's probably like 4 or 5 years ago he started running late models a little more, and he had a pretty good showing at I think the Jackson race or something like that. Is where I think I first really saw him. I was like, wow, man, that's impressive. And then, obviously this year it's like only people you see winning Tim and Bobby Pierce. And I feel like obviously I don't watch a lot of late model stuff, but I feel like JD's kind of had like a really bad year for JD after last season. So I'm pretty sure I just read his crew chief left or something.
Yeah, his crew chief left earlier. That was I don't know if it was like straight up beginning of the year or early in the season, but I know he lost one of his crew guys that was pretty integral to the operation. But I don't think they've dropped off as much as it feels like. I feel like that his $1 million one and how much I feel like just in late models in Jackson Braun, I think is his name, with his graphics of who's earned the most money in late model racing all year. I feel like those had a big impact on people's public opinion on stuff, because Jonathan lapped the damn field in 2022. You can't have a better season than that. I truly don't believe.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He had such a good year. It's like anything he does this year that isn't the same, everyone's going to think he's done less. So
yeah, absolutely. And I love watching Ricky Thornton Jr. His car looks really sharp. I can't wait to see his paint scheme this weekend, running in second behind the number 32 car with the Scrappy Doo paint scheme on it. No, I'm kidding. But no, it has been an exciting year for him and Bobby Pierce to kind of come into their skills at the same time and have this like, Bobby was still, I think, top 10 in earnings last year with the helpful earnings he had, but Bobby's gone to more of a national schedule, as has Ricky Thornton Jr. And I know he won Rookie of the Year in 2022, but to see both of them branch out and do so well while doing so is something that really excites me. Like, especially, I want my friends to branch out too. You can race at Knoxville every week and have a damn killing of a season, but it'd be cool to see him go race with the Outlaws and start winning some shit up there too.
I hope that's not at me.
No, that wasn't a shot at you.
Damn, I'm not.
I was going to make a sarcastic comment.
I'm not even a friend.
No. I will pressure you to run more with the Outlaws, but I want all my friends to. In an ideal world, there'd be only like 6 guys winning races every week. You're on the list though. You're on the top 6.
All right, well, I'll take it.
It's like that Verizon friend circle or whatever. Would they have 8 prioritized like best friend group or something like that?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Such a weird marketing. Yeah, no, I don't even know how the hell it popped in my head. But the Tusky 50 is this weekend, Ayrton, as is Gold Cup. We'll talk about that in a sec. What makes, you raced in it last year, what makes that event different? What makes it something that everyone should want to go to? Because I've seen so much about this and the fair they have. Do they have like their state fair going on during that week?
So it's the Jonatal, whatever that county they live in, is their fair, and it takes place like at the racetrack behind the grandstand. So like you got the Ferris wheel, you got all the food trucks, then you got all the race fans, and everyone there is Amish, so they actually have really great home cooked food.
How do they like the track?
They love it.
How do they? No, not like the track. How do they light the track?
What do you mean?
You said they're all Amish.
Yeah, like the town's full of Amish people.
But the
Like it's
track isn't
crazy.
ran by Amish people, right?
No, it's not.
Okay, we got electricity then. That's good.
Yes, yes.
I just want to
Oh,
make sure you had
light.
enough
Okay.
lights to race.
Yeah, no, no. But the Amish, like the whole atmosphere is awesome. Like every day I was there, I went to a different food truck, got something different. Like yeah, obviously that was my first time out in Pennsylvania too. So to race in front of that kind of crowd and like it was, early in the day, I'm walking the midway and it's like, this ain't my area. Like no one really knows who I am, but people are like, oh my God, Ayrton, what's going on? I'm like, people know who I am. Holy cow, I feel popular. But the racing there is next level. You got to be on the fence flat out and just let them hang. So it's pretty cool when people can, like guys like Borden and Macri are the two that really, really do it the most right now. When they're ripping the fence, it's pretty cool to see. And, uh, I feel like it can produce really, really good racing, and the atmosphere with the fair is just next level. And it's just everyone there is, they're all there because they're race fans or whatever. So it's a good atmosphere in general. So it was probably like one of the top three events, like I'd say so far in my career. Like I'd put it Tusky behind the Knoxville. Like realistically, like the atmosphere outside the racing at the Tusky is pretty equal to the Nationals. You don't have all like, you don't got the Nationals feel, but like
Save yourself there.
the food trucks, the Ferris wheel, like that stuff brings a different element that I think puts Tusky up there with the Nationals and Kings Royal. So it's definitely a top three event that I've been to so far. So
Can you real quick, and before we get into Gold Cup, we'll do that next. Can you tell Caleb, and I've probably mentioned Caleb to you, can you tell him why he's an idiot for not acknowledging the Knoxville Nationals as a top three motorsports event in the world?
I feel like in the world you got Monaco.
Ayrton,
This
you're not doing a good job earning your top 25 spot here. You just dropped out.
well, Monaco's like it's not
The first
a
race you
good
picked there to
race.
mention was Monaco?
I think it's just a cool race, but like Monaco,
We can park some fake boats next to the track at Nationals next year if that's what you need.
I think Nationals racing and the atmosphere and it's the true like I don't know. I feel like if you're an average race fan and you go to the Knoxville Nationals, you're gonna relate way more to the drivers and the teams and all that stuff than if you went to a place like Monaco, Indy 500 or Daytona 500. Like those are all cool racing events, but like I feel like the Nationals is definitely a top three. Now it's like a toss up between the Indy 500 because that is probably the number one race in my opinion.
I would agree. That's off the
Nationals,
record, though. If everyone heard that, that's off the record.
Nationals, Monaco, and Daytona 500 are all three in a toss up for second. Like I feel like if you want to watch great racing, Knoxville Nationals is going to be first. If you want to like talk about the atmosphere and historic of the event, Indy 500 is first. But as far as like Nationals versus Monaco versus Daytona 500, I think they all have their separates that make them a second place contender. Like I'm not gonna lie, it'd be pretty cool to be on a yacht and have a bunch of amazing looking people around you. So I would not complain about being in a yacht in Monaco one bit. But definitely I would say like they all three got their own atmospheres to place them in second, but I don't think you can top Indy 500. So uh, and you never know. I mean, you may be taking home a brand new car at the Indy 500 because yours gets destroyed by a tire.
So
So
what's funny is
You're better at this than you let on, Ayrton, by the way. Go ahead, Caleb.
the night that we started talking about this, I I don't know what particular word we used, but Connor used a particular word, and it wasn't like prestigious, but it was
Electric?
like no, but it was like talking about like
I think it was
just like
prestigious.
the maybe it was.
I think it was
That didn't seem
prestigious. I
right,
think I
but
said prestigious to sound more pinky up to you.
we're talking about like prestigious. It just that doesn't feel right because I could even tell you like prestigious seem like you could say a Knoxville Nationals win is prestigious, but whatever word Connor used was not like it
I'm
wouldn't
sorry.
describe.
I got a tater tot casserole in the oven right now. I just went to check on it. You just said you could say a Nationals win is prestigious. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way more prestigious than a lot of the wins.
Whatever we were talking about like in all the races in the world, worldly prestige. You immediately said Knoxville Nationals, and you're wrong in that sense. But
Yeah, I
like
go. It's Indy,
and
Knoxville, Daytona. That's the top three. Whatever order it's in, the day of the race it changes because that race goes to number one. That's my top three, though.
Well,
you
Chili
talked
Bowl's got to
about-
be up there too, because Chili Bowl's.
What do you mean?
probably
Chili
more-
Bowl doesn't pay their damn drivers to go.
No, but
You have to have a
guarantee-
1-car team or a 2-car team in the winter to make money going to the Chili Bowl.
I guarantee you the Chili Bowl though is viewed more than the Knoxville Nationals, just because there's literally nothing else going on. So that's where like worldly watched, I'd say Chili Bowl's going to top Knoxville.
Now, your resources and people you ask questions to probably know better than I would on the flow racing numbers for the Chili Bowl, but I could not. Like, there's part of me that thinks like
I don't
right,
think
but I don't know.
The Chili Bowl, I feel like, I don't know. Like, I feel like the Chili Bowl, because you get such a vast variety of competitors, it's really cool to win. But I would take a Knoxville Nationals win over the Chili Bowl win any day.
I'm so thankful you didn't win the Chili Bowl too, because I would have held it to your grave that you won the one that Larson didn't go to.
Yeah, I would have won Chili Bowl my first ever midget race. We could have held. The only thing against me was Larson wasn't there. But
full disclosure to everybody. So they added the Chili Bowl to the World of Outlaws game. And so I reset my career. I went and I wanted my first race at that track in a midget to be the first time I was on the track there. And I was in hot laps, had a few cold ones in me. And I flipped in the same exact corner that Ayrton flipped at when I was 3 hours into my 6-hour trip to Tulsa. And I heard, someone just flipped. And I go, I know his hot lap group is right now. And my luck, he probably just trashed his car for the whole week.
No, we didn't trash it. We just tore it.
You were fine. Yeah, you ended up being okay. But I was not thinking.
Yeah, we were all right.
For like 30 minutes.
Yeah, no, it was definitely interesting. Like, to say that I misjudged the entry was a little of an understatement.
Well, how do you phrase it to me? You said I thought I was in a sprint car, kind of like how differently they drive, and I'm comparing it to a video game, but
yeah, I don't know. Like, so I'm so used to, like, every time I've been in that building, I've only ever ran micros, so like I was judging my entry points off of where I had been running non-wing micros. Well, they had just watered the track. So the track was a little slimy. So it's a little bit of slime. I judged the corner wrong, and I didn't get it near enough sideways, is what everyone told me. That was after I smashed the wall. They told me I didn't get it sideways enough. So it would have been great advice before I hit the wall, but it didn't come like that. So luckily, Mickey and all them guys were really cool about it. They didn't care. I did tell Phil Rossi that he's never allowed to open a beer before I race again. So if we're ever in the same building, whether I'm racing for him or not, I'm gonna come to him and say, "Hey, remember, there's no beer before I race," because that one time he did it. But no, it was really cool. We didn't tear too much up. We tore enough up, tore enough up that it took us all night to rebuild it, but not enough. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're kind of cutting out, but you're.
And I guess I never actually told my Tusky picks, but I'm gonna probably say for the top three to win, like the top three picks to win the race, even though Logan Wagner's in the 69K, you got to put him in there because it's 69K. You got to put DeWeese in there, and you got to put Macri in there.
You just picked the top three guys in California that weren't Brent Marks.
Well, that's the thing, though. The next three guys I would say is going to be Marks, Devin Borden, and Danny Diedrich. So those are my six.
You're such a Pennsylvania homer.
The race.
God damn, I haven't looked at the entry list.
I don't even see any. I mean, like Courtney maybe or Zeb, but like they can also struggle there pretty bad. Like that place is so tough. The guy who impressed me the most because they had that Labor Day Classic was Sam Haferteef. Like they never once showed him on camera in that feature, but he went 21st to 6th. Like that's pretty impressive against that type of field. So Haferteef really impressed me there. Like I don't know how he passed the guys, but he passed them. So that's something. Maybe Haferteef could be a dark horse to run up front. He may not win, but he could have a top 10. You never know.
I love having you on here, man. We gotta talk about what we're gonna do next year. Real quick though, Gold Cup at Chico. The California guys, obviously, a lot of the top outlaw guys are Californians. Lot of intrigue there. Chase Randall being teammates with Kyle Larson in the 57 cars. Lot of storylines to watch for going into this weekend in that race. Who are your? We can just do it like that. Who's your picks for Chico? And then second question, I gotta hear, like, how important of a weekend is this for Carson Macedo? Even if it's just that last Saturday, A-Main pays World of Outlaws points. I can't imagine they pay it for a split field feature, but him and Gravel both lost a lot of ground to Brad Sweet this weekend. They both need massive races and massive type of upsets to even get back into the fight.
Yeah, I feel like as far as the points battle goes, like anytime you're racing with those with the Outlaws and necessarily like Carson's going to be kind of on home turf this weekend. I look for Carson to have a really good week, and I know like Phil, Clyde, Nate, like they work really hard at putting together a great package, and they have done that. So I feel like as long as they don't have anything crazy go down, like I feel like they'll have a pretty good weekend. More than likely, I could see him, being a top 5 car on Saturday night. Brad, he grew up racing out there, so I think it's gonna be hard to gain a lot of ground on Brad.
Yeah, that's the thing is the guy they're chasing is also on his home.
It's so hard to gain on Brad. Yeah, and it's so hard to gain on Brad because Brad's so good everywhere he goes. He's just consistent and really good. So I feel like if they can get through the month of September and knock it down to like a 50-point range for either one of them, when they go to Pennsylvania, that's going to be their separator right there. They're gonna have to get through Pennsylvania and gain a lot of ground on Brad because statistically showing, like I don't got statistics or the stats on in my hand because I don't have any stats at all. It's just all off what I've seen. Brad tends to struggle at the Grove, and last year he broke a rear end there. But if he can get, I think if Brad can just stay in the top 10 the rest of the year, it's like I don't think anyone can beat him in points. Like he's pretty far out, and he's pretty good. So.
And like you
I
said,
don't know.
he's really, really damn good at just staying in the top 10.
Yeah, that's what's going to be hard to beat is if he can just stay in the top 10. Literally if he just runs 10th the rest of the year, he's going to have so many guys, like, you'd almost have to win out, I think, with where they're at in points. So now as far as like upset drivers to look at, someone I think that could do good is Caleb Henry. He did really good last year. I think Gold Cup he did good. It'll be really interesting to see TK in the Bill Rose car as far as just how he runs and maybe a judge of actually where Bill's equipment is. I feel like, Bill's loves it. Bill tries his best, but there's like a little bit of an edge that I think TK can bring that may be able to boost that team. Hopefully he does good. Golovic, I think it should, really good there.
At least with Bill Rose, I think it should be added that he's at the end of his career. He's a 10-time IRA champion. He's obviously
that's Bill Baylog.
Who?
That's Bill Baylog.
How much? What did Bill Rose win?
He won the IRA championship in 2016 over Baylog.
Okay,
but he's not a 10-time champion. But no,
Bill that's on me. That's on me for confusing both of them. But I know Bill Rose has a good resume. I'm trying to figure out what series he won a ton in. But yeah,
he's won with about everybody. I don't know. I don't think he's won an outlaw race, but I know he's won with. I think he's won with the All Stars. I'm not sure, but I know Bill's like he's diverse and he's a real race car driver. he's doing a lot right now, trying to race and promote tracks. He's promoting Terre Haute. So Bill's got a lot on his plate to begin with. So, um, I don't know. It's really cool that Bill's even racing still,
Right.
Another thing too, I saw today on the internet was Jonathan Allard's racing. I don't know how much he races over here anymore because I know he lives in Australia, New Zealand, like something like that. But so that'll be cool to see Jonathan Allard. He may race over here. I just maybe not pay attention enough. I don't know. But I think it's gonna be hard to go against the Kofoid. And like a Kofoid's gonna be really good there, but I feel like your outlaw guys are gonna be really good as well. I don't know. That's a tough field to pick against. Like I could look at this list and pick out 10 guys who could win on Saturday. So
I agree.
obviously you got Larson, so it's gonna be hard to beat Larson.
Yeah, and even looking back at, and is Ryan Timms racing? He's probably got ESAC Ninja. I don't see him on the entry list here, but even like he raced last year there and was good.
Yeah, I don't know where Tim's is going to be at this weekend. He may take the week off. You never know. Another guy like Dominic, I like to see Dominic run good. Gio will probably have a really good chance. I think a guy that could surprisingly not say win, but be in the A main would be Noah Gass. Like he's a lot better on tracks that are short tracks and kind of elbows up. So if Noah Gass has some confidence back after his wreck at Skagit, I feel like he could run good.
Dude, so I talked to him at Houston's and just like, I'm going to like a guy that gives a good quote either way. I've seen Noah go up and do an extra not sponsorship deal, but like a PR thing with a big race fan that wanted to meet a couple of drivers, and he just took the time out of his day at Eldora like the year before to go take a picture.
Yeah, that was I think that was either Four Crown or Kings Royal last year.
I think it was Kings Royal because I didn't go, and I was feeling sad that I didn't go, and I was like, I should have been at that and been taking pictures of it. But I love Noah's outlook on everything after talking to him at Houston's and what he's been able to put together, really like truly running a career like you would run if you started a sprint car team on a video game. And I don't know if it's because I can compare it to that or what, but the kid just grinds and goes after it, just like Zach Hampton, who I've raved about on this podcast too. But he really impresses me. I'd love to see him have a good weekend.
Yeah, I think he'll have a pretty decent weekend. I feel like if that track can fit him. I mean, there's so many good Cali guys, there's good outlaw guys. At the end of the day, it's Larson's going to be in position, Brad's going to be in position, Logan will be in position. Maybe some California locals like Sanders, Henry, Golubic, Rico.
Thank God you mentioned Shane Golubic. I was going to do it if you didn't.
Yeah, maybe a Justin Cox. Like I know he's been pretty decent in that car, so maybe a Justin Cox could surprise somebody. You never know. And then like last year, I'm pretty sure Tanner Carrick was going to win a race out there, and his fuel tank fell off.
Yeah.
You never know. I mean, there's a lot of good cars.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited just to see what the whole weekend looks like with that event. It feels like the biggest week of California sprint car racing, and I know people will have opinions left and right on that. I did want to ask you real quick, and this is the last thing we'll do on the podcast. Don't hang up afterwards, by the way. But you need to address that you stole Dominic Scelzi's signature donut celebration. You only did one donut.
I did not know Dominic Scelzi even did donuts. I mean,
I don't think he does it. I don't think he does it every race. I think he's just like you. He'll do it in the right moment.
Yeah, that was actually the first time I've done a donut, and that's the first time I've done a Polish victory lap in a long time. I felt like that race was fitting because there was a lot of stuff. There was a great crowd too, so I was like, "Oh, great crowd! Let's pump them up. Let's go. Let's get some cheering going." Guys,
yeah, you were marketing it to me like it's not copied from anyone else. It's very unique because I drive by the fans and I tell them to get the fuck up.
Yeah, I was waving at them. I'm like, everyone else does it. They're like, just kind of driving by. I'm like, kid up, guys, let's go. Where's the voices at? So, no, but yeah, I mean, Dominic's got a lot of crazy celebrations. So, yeah, you never know what he's going to do. And he's pretty funny. Like the other night, he stole Chase Rodman's mic, and I'm pretty sure he's on the mic Thursday. I called the race with Johnny, so that'll be cool too. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
So
my Polish victory lap I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty fun.
yeah, and
The
it's always,
donut, like I told you, the donut was it was in my head. When I turn around, am I gonna do the donut or am I just gonna like whip a hard right and go to victory lane? I didn't think I could whip the right hand corner with the way that like the dust was in the infield. So I went up the track, and when I went to go turn left, I was like, all right, I'm like, I might just go ahead and do a donut. I'm halfway through it. So I gassed her up and did it. And I was like, perfect. I even pointed to victory lane. So I just was like, I ain't gonna do another one. I don't want to hurt my engine. And I just went into victory lane.
well, if you think one hurts and two doesn't, we can accept the one donut, but we'll
All
go to the
right.
drawing board on the off season. All right, on your victory lane stuff.
Well, I mean, hey, like I said, like there's a time and a place of that Polish victory lap, like that night there. Like I feel like that was like one of the hardest races I've won this season as far as like really having to earn it. I don't think my car was the best car. I feel like I just kind of drove a really good race. I had a crazy move by Lockheed to get the lead before the yellow came out, and it just kind of played out in my favor to win the race. And I was pretty pumped up. So felt like it was something I could have, I was like, might as well. I want to show people I'm excited to win races, like it's
Oh
exciting to
yeah.
win. And, I feel like a lot of guys sometimes don't show how exciting it is when they win a race. And whether it's a big race or a small race or local show or big show, like get pumped up because you never know when it could be the last race you win, or if you'll ever win another race again, or if you'll ever race again, or what'll happen. So I'm always going to celebrate like it's going to be the last win of my career, and I'm going to celebrate like it means the most to me every single time. So, and that's just me winning, shows like that. Imagine what's going to be like when I win an outlaw race. He ain't going to get you off the ratrack. I'm
You
going to just keep
aren't you
going.
aren't going to get me off the ground after I drink at
Yeah,
celebrating your win. You think Bobby
I'm
Pierce
telling
kills my liver? Like you're gonna fucking screw it.
I'm telling you right now, like I feel like a lot of guys underplay victories with just kind of like small wing. I'm not saying that they underplay, like it's a business, so you got to be serious. But I feel like it means a lot to win these races, whether it's a race like Power Eye or MOA or anything. Like there's so many good cars out there that you race night in and night out that it doesn't matter where you race, you have got to beat somebody that is good and just as talented with just as good as equipment. You can't buy your equipment to get speed anymore. Maybe 6-7 years ago, you could have the best motor, you could have the best car. Now you go to the racetrack, there's nothing like that. Everyone's got the same stuff, whether they're in the front or in the mid pack. Everyone's got the same stuff. So to win a race nowadays, I feel like it's really tough. There's no just buying your way into the sport and being fast. You can buy the equipment, that doesn't mean you're going to be fast. So when you win races and then doing it like I'm trying to be my own crew chief, like it means so much to me. Like I know there's time, like when I won whenever, like I won some smaller shows whenever Chad was doing it. It may not mean as much because I wasn't doing everything, but every race still meant something, and I still celebrated like it was gonna be my last win because you never know. So I feel like, I mean, that's one thing I would say. I would like to see more drivers get more pumped up doing wing dances or being
Absolutely.
excited to win a
Yeah.
race, because I feel like they underplay a lot of the wins. So there's my sprint car take for the night. People need to get more pumped up.
You're perfect. This episode over your last one is going to get you more fans either way, I think. Don't hang up, but everybody, appreciate y'all for listening. Enjoy Gold Cup this week and enjoy the Tusky. Watch the Supercross race if you got time at 2 o'clock, unless you're watching the Cyhawk football game. Completely understand. And then hopefully we'll be drinking until we're Bobby Pierce fans at the Jack Trice Stadium parking lot celebrating a cyclone win. That's what I'm hoping for this weekend. That's no secret. But going to be exciting. I'm freaking amped, and I cannot wait for Saturday to get here. So thanks again for listening. Appreciate y'all.